You want to start this one up?
Oh, now you're bringing it back? Now you're like, well, maybe. Let's see if Aden wants to start it again after specifically dodging me last episode.
I did not dodge you.
You went, ski. You went, let me dip out the way and then take it back over again. So, if you want me to, if you feel guilty about it, right? If you feel like it's been eating you up inside, I could do the intro. But
I'm sure.
Only if you really mean it.
Okay. Believe it.
Okay. I'm Aden Matthews.
And I'm Zach Snyder.
And welcome back to another episode of another YouTube podcast, the one-stop shop for anything and everything related to YouTube. The show where we kept all that in. We're keeping it all...
Absolutely. Oh, in. Absolutely. You think I was going to edit that out? No way.
We're keeping it all in.
No way. The show where we talk about Borat. This is now the Borat podcast. Did you know that?
I didn't. No.
You do now.
I'm thinking about different ways the podcast could go and how could we evolve. And Borat wasn't one of those ideas that crossed my mind. But now that you bring it up, I feel like it's a very logical progression.
We can talk about it. Have a little town hall meeting, get some people in. Discuss it.
Discuss the Borat.
You never quite know. Anyways, welcome back to the podcast. We're back. Doing it every week now. Shit wildin'. Thanks to all the new people that's been listening. Shit's been really dope.
Appreciate you, boyos.
But let's just jump into it.
Let's just jump right into it, bro.
How was your week on YouTube? Trademark.
It was epic.
Cool. All right. Mine was also epic. Thanks for listening. And,
great.
We'll see you next time.
I don't I feel like these episodes are harder to record than the topic ones because, the topic ones we can go pretty long time with what we're given. Whereas it feels like the Your Week on YouTube ones, I always worry that it's going to be 10 minutes long and nothing happens and we just upload a 10-minute audio file to the internet, and it's I don't want to do that. I want to at least try to get it to 30, but some weeks there just isn't interesting shit, right? And it's just it is what it is. Not every week's a banger, right? Not every week has a fun lesson attached to it.
Unfortunately.
But I do worry we're going to have a Your Week on YouTube episode that just comes out and it's 6 minutes long, and that's just
It's weird because when we first started this podcast, we did Your Week on YouTube to talk about our journey and everything. And what we would find is, number one, if we wasn't consistent with the podcast, we'd end up with 45 minutes to an hour of just a Your Week on YouTube section. Mm-hmm. But also, as we've kind of perfected some of our own creative processes, and as we've kind of gone out and started doing other shit, as I've started doing client work and been busy with that, it's very much every week is almost super much the same.
Yeah.
So we're not doing nearly as much experimentation as we used to, which is both a good and a bad thing, I feel like. Mm-hmm. But it just depends. It just depends. So when we decided to kind of split the podcast into two so that we could have a main topic every 2 weeks and then the Your Week on YouTube part every 2 weeks, sounds like a good idea. And I still think it's a good idea. Right. But it very much is an issue where I have nothing really at all for this week.
It's just funny because the problem used to be it was too long, and now I'm worrying about it being too short.
Now it's too short. Yeah.
So either way, we end up getting screwed one way or another. That being said, I do have some things to talk about, I guess.
That's good.
So May ended. We're recording this in June.
It did.
And 30 for 30 season 1 got a lot of episodes out, but it did not finish how I would have intended it to. And that's a lot of things. I think partially it comes out of a desire to try to make each episode unique from each other. So I don't like to just put out the same episode of 30 for 30, but replace Kid Chameleon with Comic Zone or Comic Zone with Golden Axe, right? I want to be doing new things, at least in the editing department, or if not, what I'm saying. And the last couple of episodes of 30 for 30 are actually some of my personal favorites. Like the Streets of Rage retrospective was a ton of fun to do. And I had a lot of fun, especially with Comic Zone, like messing around with transitions and editing, figuring out about wipe transitions and stuff. It's been like really fun, like picking up on a lot of different new stuff. So I've had fun still making them and putting them out. But now that the month is over and I don't feel like stressed to try to do all 30 in a month, like the challenge aspect of it is kind of over at this point.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, okay, I'm doing them now just so I can have a satisfying ending to season 1 and not to fill a quota of videos for a month. Which I think is both a good or a bad thing. Like the good thing is it gives me more time to work on each episode, but like definitely a part of what intrigued people with 30 for 30 is trying to see how many I could do in a month. And now that that aspect is over, I don't know how many people are still going to be interested in the review part of things, but people still seem to like them. Each episode continues to do really well and have like less than 10 more pretty much, and then it's over. So I'm just working on the last couple of those for Blue Couch Productions, and then once those are said and done, I recorded a video with Ethan while he was here that I won't be able to edit for a hot second until that's over. And then from there, I had no idea what I'm going to do. Probably a series of smaller videos like I did at the end of Back to the Video Game Season 1. So
yeah,
I'm probably just going to experiment and try a bunch of weird shit again. Like trying to aim for at least a video or 2 each month. So it won't be as crazy as May, but you'll still be getting content. You'll still be seeing a lot of interesting things, at least on the main channel.
I'm glad to hear that we're going to get more of the episodes, because I wasn't quite sure. With May ending, you kind of gone radio silence on 30 for 30 for the last week. So I was kind of wondering, like, what's she going to do with it? And either way, like, I was cool with it. I was like, if you don't want to do any more, like, it's fine. If you put out more, like, I'm hyped because I've liked the series a lot. So I am glad to hear that you're going to be doing more of it for sure.
It's just at this point trying to find a satisfying ending and covering the last couple of games I really want to.
Right.
There's still a few that I missed and I really want to talk about. But there probably will be a lot more marathon-y episodes just so I don't have to make 10 more. Like, it's trying to do less than 10 at this point and just get the important ones out. It'll still probably be 30 games by the end of it, but if some of them are more marathon-y or cover multiple games and you want to know why, that's probably why.
Yeah, I don't want to detract away from more of your week, but I am curious. After attempting the 30 for 30 challenge, these 30 games in like 30 days, have you do you feel like maybe you're not the creator that likes to do content in like a show format? Or because it seems like every time I talk to you about like these kind of things, you're always talking about like, I want the next video to be different. I want the next video to be better. And it's almost like when you go out to do a show with a format, you can do different things and you can make the show better over time. But I feel like it's one of those things where you have to do it for a long time to really get a full semblance of each episode continuously getting better. And also, like, as far as like differences go, you're gonna get the same episode with different game a lot if you do it for a long time. So I'm curious, like, where are your thoughts at on a creating standpoint, if all that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you. I think it's wild because like I attempted a very similar thing with Back to the Video Games. Like that was going to be a weekly show, and it started out that way. And each of those first 3 episodes, while they weren't all good, were radically different from each other. And by the time I got to episode 4, I'd kind of found myself in that show. To where the latter half I am much more happy with than I was the starting half. And part of that is, like you said, doing a show like this takes a lot of time. And in Back to the Video Games case, I wasn't doing daily uploads or weekly uploads. I'd be taking a month in between episodes.
Right.
So, like, no shit, the second half was better. That took, like, 6 months, where the first half maybe took, like, 2 or 3 weeks, right? So there was a big, huge improvement in that latter half because I had taken the time to really refine it and get it to where I want to be. But that came at the cost, is, like, not having a ton of episodes for that. And by the time episode 10 was done, Back to the Video Games had felt like a more complicated show, and I still intend on doing season 2, but but it's the thing where I like really want to work on each bit of the process as I do it. 30 for 30 though is a bit more interesting because it's not that back to the video game style of approach. It's doing one thing every day and uploading the results whether you like them or not almost every day, at least when it was active. Now sure, later on there would be 2-day gaps, 3-day gaps, maybe even a week, but a lot of episodes in the beginning were a lot of the same thing over and over again, and I was fine for that. But I had to have like a creative challenge or an angle at it to where I really felt like I had fun with it. And so early on, it was the format. It was figuring out the history section, figuring out the reviews, and each advertisement was just a fun little creative challenge. And so even if I wasn't impressed with each video review, well, like, oh, the Skylanders ad was super funny, and I wouldn't have gotten a chance to make that if it weren't for 30 for 30.
Right.
As it went along, though, and started focusing less on ads and more on the review side of things, and I was given a little bit more time, the latter half I was starting to feel a little bit like I wasn't having too many like creative challenges or moments, and I was just really like taking a thing and minorly changing it here and there, which is good. They're still good videos, but something about that isn't as fun to me inherently as taking something and working on it for a long period of time, or having gradual breaks in between to where I can really attempt to actually evolve it. So I feel like for the latter half of 30 for 30, I was just making a lot of minor changes, and some of the videos literally came down to like the script I had or what I had to say about the game. And if that wasn't interesting, the rest of the video didn't feel interesting to me. But I know I'm harsher on it than most people are. I know most people like think that the first half and the second half of 30 for 30 are virtually the same, and they've all been super fun. And they've all enjoyed all of them, and I know people are still enjoying them. I just think from a creative standpoint, there's something about it that I don't believe to be as fun as having a little bit of time between each video or doing more of a weekly series rather than a daily one, I guess.
That makes sense. It's tough when you have like a show where you want to put out so many episodes, especially like in a daily manner. I know with Yin, it's been like similar issues where I want each episode to be better. I want each episode to stand on its own and be a good video, but I know that by taking long breaks in between episodes and not putting them out on a daily or weekly basis, it's not only I feel like it hinders my creativity more than anything, because then I just don't upload. And then I just have like 100 certain episodes that I could make at any given moment, but I'm not making any of them because I'm too focused on like, well, this video that I'm working on now isn't as good. What if I work on this one instead? So like, I get you. It's tough in that kind of sense. And it's hard to like know what the right answer is, because like when you look at YouTube and the algorithm, obviously we talk about like, you got to upload, or you're not, making any real progress on your channel or anything like that. But as a creator, like you still want to feel that progress of making everything as best as you can. And I don't think YouTube allows you to do that.
Yeah.
As
or at least
much
it doesn't
as you would
incentivize
like. For sure.
That being said, though, from an analytics perspective, everything about 30 for 30 has worked out fairly well. Like, I've gotten 100 more views on average than I usually do. I've gotten like at least 20 more watch time hours than I typically do. Like, and all of them are still receiving comments, and all of them are receiving views. Not all of them are at 20 views, which is the number I shoot for, but a lot of the earlier ones are now, which is awesome. And I imagine it's going to continue for the rest of them as well.
I think so.
So there's definitely been successes in there. And I think it's definitely brought a lot more attention to like Blue Couch production stuff in general. But what I think it means for me personally is that 30 for 30 isn't necessarily the future of my content.
Fair.
but neither is like Back to the Video Games, and neither is the smaller videos, right? Like,
Right.
there's parts of each of them that I really enjoy and like and love doing, but I gotta be in the right mood for each one of them. And so I think for like once 30 for 30 is done, I'm kind of in a mood to just do random video essay stuff on interesting media and video games. So I'm gonna do smaller videos. Once I get sick of that, I'll probably be in the mood to do more long form stuff like Back to the Video Games. And I have tons of ideas for potential other seasons of 30 for 30.
No, I'm sure.
But it's going to be a while before I come back to doing that. And so it's kind of operating in phases and waves right now. That being said, I'm not going to like abandon 30 for 30. It's definitely a show that's sticking around. But it's not going to be like, all right, once season 1 is done, we're hopping right into season 2, and then season 2 is season 3, and everything else is getting forgotten about. Like, it is a third of my channel right now. And even then, it's not necessarily even my favorite third. But it's great for getting a lot of short videos out on content that I normally couldn't cover on Back to the Video Games. I see its place. And I do enjoy parts of the format and the advertisements and all that sort of stuff. And I'm super glad I did it. But it's not going to be a thing that takes over the entire channel and I'll focus on.
That makes sense. Well, cool.
And I don't think it was to begin with, even. But
I don't think it was either. It very much seemed like I'm going to do this wild and experiment in May, and we're going to see how it goes. I don't want you to stop doing any of the other stuff too, because I like the other stuff you do. So I think I think you're handling it well. I think it's going to be interesting to see how not only 30 for 30 shapes up in the future, but the channel as a whole.
Yeah.
Still interested to see like where the journey goes and everything.
It was really good for getting a lot of uploads on my end. I'll say that much because I needed videos after I took down so much. And 30 for 30 has really like built a little bit of bulk on my catalog of videos that I am proud enough to keep up and show. To the point where by the time it's said and done, it'll probably be around the size, like half of all my videos are probably going to be 30 for 30 related or close to it.
Yeah.
Maybe like a third, like, I don't know. Like, it'll be a huge chunk of shit. So it's good because it gives people more stuff to watch, and I'm hoping that the marathon effect kind of takes place once they're all said and done. And I can, like, get them all in a playlist and just be like, hey, 30 for 30, season 1, here it is. Go check it out.
Here we go, boys.
So we'll see what people think about that. But yeah, gonna be wrapping that up soon. Got a couple more videos planned on that, and I'm gonna get them out fairly shortly, and I'll let you know what my thoughts are. Once it's said and done, once season 1 is said and done.
Cool.
But aside from that, Aden on Anchor's still going well. We still posting stuff. I got behind like a week or so, but I made a recent episode about the Dark Knight trilogy and Naruto. So
Naruto,
two of the most epicest things brought together, I think personally, in a long
I
time.
agree.
Game Club Season 2's coming back, editing those together, getting them out. Got a couple of those recorded, got to record a few more. But we're getting different games this time, a lot of the same guests. Hopefully we'll get some new guests. We'll see how that works, but I'm not counting on it currently. Another YouTube podcast been going well. We've kind of already talked about that on here. And then really, outside of all that, Lions Honor Gaming's just really been kind of a big focus as 30 for 30 is kind of winding down. I'm like, oh, yeah, our Let's Play channel. Shit, let me record and press the wild. We got to meet back up in June. Okay, let's meet back up in June, and let's talk about random series we're going to do. And that always brings a little bit of energy to stuff, and so that's cool. And we got a lot of interesting stuff planned. A lot of weird series, a lot of wild and shit.
I think so.
I'm excited to see where some of that goes. But now it's just like now that I have time to record stuff, it's, hey, let me get together with Jay. Let me get together with Kyle. I got together with you to record a series. I'm trying to, like, build up a catalog of stuff I can edit for, like, the next couple of months or so.
Right.
I don't have to, like, worry about going out of my way to schedule shit.
Well, that sounds freaking epic. Yeah, we had our meeting for LHG, and I thought that went really well. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what's going to come out of that in the next few months. LHG is just always like, yeah, group Let's Play channel. We still do it.
Yeah.
It still surprises me that we're still doing it.
Yeah.
But we're doing it.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
There's been some good stuff come out there. The Breath of the Wild series has been really fun to watch. I'm behind on it, but I've been watching episodes, and it's really fun.
We're recording the finale tonight. It's going to be 40 episodes once the whole thing is said and done. So
hell yeah.
That's how many that we're shooting for. So that'll be dope. Calfro on Stardew. We just finished Fire Red. I'm very excited about the series me and Zach are a part of. It's coming out. Should be epic.
Same.
Should be fun. And then the stuff planned again. I don't want to spoil nothing, but there's some dumb shit coming up. Some dumb shit coming up.
I like the word epic.
Epic sauce, bro. Epic
it
sauce.
Is some epic stuff. Get hyped if you're not following our group Let's Play channel. It's in the show notes. It's in the description. You can watch me and Aden play Fire Red. That's our main series together, but there's some epic stuff coming soon. So get hyped.
I have to agree. And then I guess the last thing to mention, been streaming on Twitch still.
You have.
Usually I don't talk about a lot of the Twitch stuff because it's just like, I just kind of hung out and streamed, and then I do it again the next month. But the reason I'm bringing it up here specifically is that I'm streaming Ocarina of Time for the pretty much the first time. Like, I've played it maybe once or twice before, but never really got that far in it.
Yeah. And
so with the help of chat and everybody, they're kind of guiding me through it and stuff, and that's been interesting. But what was wild was fucking Zach out here. Big dollar Zachary.
Oh,
out
shit.
Here just gifting subs to like 6 people in my chat or whatever. It was nuts.
I did do that, yeah.
It was nuts.
Yeah, it was epic.
There's a bunch of people with the badge and the emote.
Yeah, I just thought I hadn't really like ever donated or shit to you on stream. I've been following or subscribed to you with Twitch Prime for like a long time now.
Right.
But that's not like directly coming from me. You know, it's coming through Amazon. You still get the money.
Right.
So that's
money
good.
is what matters.
But I thought like, why not give back to the homie a little bit? So yeah, I originally was just gonna do the gifting of 4 subs.
Yeah.
But it ended up being randomized to people in your community. So I was like, I got to go individual if I want specific people. So then I gifted 2 more for the other 2 people that were in the chat during that day.
Yeah. Because I don't even think Hai noticed. I don't think Hai still hasn't noticed.
Yeah.
That he just
I don't think
sub.
Donovan did notice either.
Yeah.
He came through that stream, but I don't think he noticed.
But everybody else seemed pretty hype about that. And I'm hyped about it myself because, like, who knows if any of them are going to stick around after that month. But, like, for that period of time, it feels nice to see everybody with, like, the badges you and me designed and, like, letting everybody, like, have access to the emote and shit. It's just, like...
Definitely.
I always feel with Twitch, like, I don't have a lot of improvements here and there, but there are certain points where, like, everything really comes together and it's, like, a lot of fun. And I think these Ocarina streams have been that pretty big moment for me.
Well, I also figured since you were doing Ocarina and I figured you plan on streaming the entire game, you were going to be streaming more like during the next month or so.
Yeah.
So I thought, let me get this boy these subs, and then like those people may not like continue subbing, but if you get new people in there and they see like everybody in your chat is subbed, maybe I should sub so I'm not lonely.
Create a group effect.
Yeah.
This could happen. It could happen.
It's a little psychological.
It's all about mind games on Twitch.
All about mind games. YouTube too.
Yeah. Either way, though, I appreciate the heck of that. I know I didn't. I thanked you on stream, but I figured I'd do it on the podcast as well because that's like it's a pretty big stream moment, and like when stuff like that happens, the atmosphere of the chat kind of changes a little bit. Like, you can tell when like a chat's kind of like dull or just sort of vibing, and then something like that happens, and you're like, oh. Okay, this is really hype. Okay, cool. Like, I'm down. And suddenly there's, like, reinvested energy in it. And that's really cool. I always try, at least from my end, I've, like, subbed to you multiple times and given you $1 or $2 for funny haha memes and shit.
Yeah.
I make the joke in the group chat that we've probably spent the same $5 in a circle between everybody multiple times. Or like money that Zach has goes to me, and then I'll donate it to Jay, and then Jay will put it in my Patreon, and then it'll go to Carrie and I, and then it'll go back to Zach, and who knows? Who knows how many times it's swapped hands, but
That's wild.
It's funny.
It is funny. But it's dope. We support the homies.
Absolutely.
That's all that matters.
And then I guess real quick, monthly battle league still going on. I'm 6-1 right now. Had to brag. Very hyped about that. I beat Patient today. Also pretty epic. Can't wait for the long comment about that.
Yeah.
It's been going well.
Cool.
It's been wild because I have not had time to prep. But this is one of those seasons where like every good break I could have had is like coming my way, and I've been like super unlucky the past couple of seasons. So it's just nice to be like, oh, is this what happiness feels like? Is this what competitive Pokemon can be like if it's fun? Like,
MBL cure my depression.
Did it cure my depression? I don't know.
I'm resigning personally, but I'm glad it's going epic for you.
Right before we did this, Zach fought Parker.
We ain't gotta talk about it.
It was wonderful. I don't want to spoil it, but check out the Carry Night YouTube channel when 7 of those come up in your sub box and get to see the battle yourself.
Sure, have fun.
But that's been my week on YouTube or so. It's been pretty good overall. A lot of nice things happening. A lot of good things happening.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm always overthinking, and I'm always like doubting myself, and still dealing with a little bit of like depressive stuff where I just sleep in bed all day and I don't do nothing.
Yeah.
But man, I'm telling you, having those checklists, I made a June one today, and I finished most of the shit I had on May's checklist, and we're moving right into it. I'm still doing checklist stuff, and it has kept me the fuck on track.
It's hype. I'm really glad shit's going well for you, man. It's been really cool to see from my perspective everything you've been doing. It's been dope.
2020 been a good year for me. not for everybody, but for me specifically.
We'll quote that on Twitter.
Just wanted to point that out before I don't know, before the heat death or something. I don't know. Zach, how was your week on YouTube?
So like I said, don't really have much I can say. Still been working on videos. Like I'm working on them.
We're hearing about
put anything out
which
yet.
is interesting.
Yeah, so I have 10 episodes of Your Everyday Nerd recorded. So it's only a matter of time before I actually get some of those edited and start putting them out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's epic. I'm still working on like other scripts. I got like I said, I got like 100 episodes that I can do right now. It's just a matter of like writing the scripts, recording them, editing them. And then I'm like, the problem, like I said, one of the problems with Yin is that like I get the wild inspiration to just do something like different that's not already on the schedule that I could already do. And so then I just spend like a day working on that instead. And it's a weird balance issue for sure. Mm-hmm. But I'm tired of like being like, yo, I wanna do this thing and then have to wait like months to get to it because I got like all these other things I need to do first. So it's weird. It's weird. But like we're working on them. They're coming soon. I'm hoping to get some editing done either tonight or tomorrow and start putting out some shit. But yeah, that's the main thing. And since I've been working on that, I really haven't done a whole lot of anything else. Except for we had that Lions on Our Gaming meeting. Mm-hmm. And we're recording the podcast now.
Yeah.
So
here we are.
Here we are. Like,
have I? Are there even more come up episodes I have to get caught up on? Because I know last time we talked, I was behind.
Yeah. Did you get caught up?
No.
Okay. So no, there's not been anything new. I need to like edit the rest of what I have recorded from like October of last year. But like I just haven't gotten around to it.
Okay. So I got more time then.
You still got time.
Get on my come up binge.
You know, there's the solo Let's Play channel. Like I still want to do more with it. Still got all that Animal Crossing recorded. Just haven't edited it. So it's really been like the editing shit that is kind of slowing me down a little bit. And I think that's just because I do so much editing outside of my own stuff for work. They just be getting tired.
That was always the rough part with 30 for 30 is I I could, if I wanted to write something, it would take like maybe an hour. If I wanted to record 30 for 30, maybe an hour, right? Like, and I could get all these assets and stuff that I use for every episode in there. But it would be the editing that would always hold me back. I almost like, and I know it's wild because it's really just only a 10-minute video, but some episodes of 30 for 30 literally take upwards of 4 hours. And that's the main reason I can't get one out every day, is because by the time I get to the editing, it's already too late. It could be 8 o'clock and I'll be like, well, I missed my deadline because I know it's going to take so many hours to edit this shit together. And it's not complicated editing. It's just, like you said, as you go along doing this, like you have kind of higher standards for yourself, and you're like, well, I guess I'll just go ahead and make it look nice for myself, and it slows you the fuck down.
Yeah, it does. It does. I've also just been like creatively drained lately. Like I'll sit there and be like, okay, let me try to write some scripts today. And then it'll be like an hour and a half later and I've barely gotten through the one script I was working on. And I wanted to work on like 3 other ones. And it sucks. And like part of that's the depression. Part of that's what's happening in the world right now. But it's also, I think it just has to do with me, doing creative stuff for work. Like I wish that I could, I know with my client shit, there's this one client that I work with that has a tech channel. It's an epic channel.
Very epic.
I've been working with him for like over a year now. But it feels like every new video that he does, there's always something different that he's doing. And it's never in a good way. It's always like, here's this different thing I want you to do in this video. So like while it should only take me a couple hours to get done, it ends up taking longer because I have to put like my creative thoughts into it. And then it just gets draining.
Yep.
It's like I'm hired on as the editor here. And I know that there's like some creative responsibility for me here. But it almost feels like I have to make the entire video watchable. Well, because you've heard of like movies being saved in the edit.
Right.
Like that's how it be with some clients of mine.
Just trying to
like,
rework
I have to
disasters
save it
videos.
into an edit. Right.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. And so it ends up just being like 5 to 6 hours of nonstop just sitting there editing, trying to figure out like what I'm going to do. And then by the time I get that done, it's like I may even have another like half of my day left. But fuck if I want to sit at my computer and touch my software.
Yeah. At that point, you're already drained. You already spent all the energy you wanted to that day.
Yeah.
It sucks.
So
it sucks.
That'd be my biggest problem right now.
Usually if I just get like tired of looking at YouTube and shit for a while, like if I don't want to walk, if I'm just like lazy and like I don't want to really fucking walk, I'll just like hop in the shower for a little bit. And then like when I'm not looking at the screen, that's when I get some ideas because I'm not forcing it at that point. I'm like, oh,
absolutely.
Do this, and this. And that gives me a little bit of a spark to like try to hop back into it. But even then, if I'm gone, like I'm gone. Like, there's a certain point where my brain just shuts off and we go into vibe mode, and you can't make me create anything after I'm in vibe mode. Right.
Lately, I've had to just do straight vibing, like do literally nothing. Not watch YouTube, not watch a movie, not play a video game, just because I've been like burnt out from everything. So it's been frustrating.
I feel you.
Yeah. That's been my week, though. That's really been it. Started watching a homie named Lakeith Stanfield. Started watching all of his movies, everything he's been in. Started that a couple of days ago. It's been fun and interesting. One of my favorite current actors who's done a lot of good movies, but then he was also in the second Purge movie. So that was unepic. Other than that, just been vibing, man.
We stand Lakeith Stanfield, bro. Double stand.
I think we do. I definitely think we do.
Heck yeah, bro. Well, that was fun and mildly depressing. What a great way to end another YouTube podcast.
You gotta love it.
That should be our tagline. Another YouTube podcast. Sometimes fun, mostly mildly depressing.
Mostly mildly depressing.
Not like super depressing, but there's an undertone there for sure.
Yeah, it is what it is. Like, I hadn't been like too down lately. I've been a lot better in the past few months than I had been like last year. Mm-hmm. But it still be a problem sometimes.
It'd be a mood.
You know, you do what you gotta do. We'll actually be talking about some of that probably in the next episode. So that'll be epic.
Ooh, a little bit of a build up, if you will, to what we're talking about next time.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't ready for next episode. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't think I'm even ready for next week's episode. And I gotta record it right after this. Because we record two in one night. So I'm excited. Hopefully you are too. And let's just say the next week's topic gonna be a wild one. So
I think so.
If you're down to see that, be sure to subscribe, like the video, leave a comment, all that sort of fun stuff. Still looking for topics as always.
Yes, please. Like we've like not exhausted everything.
Please.
But it'd be feeling like we've exhausted everything. So if you've got topics, we're all ears. Questions, suggestions, all that kind of stuff. Please let us know. We'll read all the next comments in the next episode.
Yep.
But I've been Zach.
And I've been Aden.
And thank you for listening to this episode of another YouTube podcast.
The weird thing now is I actually hear the music that plays because I rewatch these. And so as I was saying that, I was hearing the music you put over it. And it's a banger.
It do be a banger. I love it.